This is the Distracted and Disorderly podcast. I'm Chris and this is Kayla.
This is Kayla.
We're just fucking idiots.
This
Let's
is
go.
Kayla. Anyways,
We're back. Distracted and Disorderly. Bad movies. What is this, episode 3 now? There's a third episode of the Bad Movie series?
yes.
Third
the first
episode.
one was atrocious. The second one was bad.
Yeah, but karate kicking.
You just liked her boobs and her butt.
She was hot, but she's also a champion at karate stuff, so or whatever it was, kickboxing.
That wasn't what you were thinking about the whole time you were watching the movie. Okay,
Today's movie is witching.
That closes his eyes.
Today's movie is witching and bitching. It is, I believe, 2013. I have it up here. 2013. I looked up the Blonde Witch real quick. It's because I was on the Blonde Witches page. Okay, 2013. Witching and bitching. Very much enjoyed this movie myself. I laughed. I cried. I got excited. This was a good movie.
You went through all of those emotions? For real?
No, I didn't. I laughed a lot. I didn't cry, obviously. I'm being over the top, but I enjoyed it. This movie's right up my alley as far as like movies like this go.
You for sure cried.
Like, Blonde Witch got
you for sure cried.
And that guy was about to get peed on, and then they got distracted. The girl, she had to pull her panties back up.
We're skipping way ahead.
I'm just remembering all the fun parts, the good parts. Okay, so the movie was Witching and Bitching. Came out in 2013. Where did it take place, Kayla?
Berlin. And then they went to France.
Berlin?
Was it Berlin? There was a lot of subtitles. Sometimes I got distracted.
I'm pretty sure they're in Spain. I'm pretty sure it's Spanish.
Pretty sure?
I'm like 99% sure.
Fact check you.
It was a Spanish director. It's got to be a movie based. It's got to be. It's got to be.
You looked really surprised when I said that off the top, though.
What, Berlin?
Yeah.
Because I think that she said she went to college. Country of origin, Spain and France. Okay. I enjoyed this movie. Just for everyone to know again, Witching and Bitching. It's on Tubi. Just watch it. It's free. It's fun. There's some really ridiculous parts. There's some genuinely funny dialogue and funny parts. It does have subtitles. It's a Spanish movie. Read the fucking subtitles. You know how many good movies you miss out on because you don't read subtitles? You got to read the subtitles. Just watch a movie with subtitles once in a while, you know, Intacto. You know, I Saw the Devil. There's so many different, the good, the bad, and the weird. Like, you're missing out on so many good movies when you don't watch subtitles. What are you looking up over there?
Well,
What are you doing?
Hang on. You can't hang on and talk for 5 seconds so I can...
No, I'm fine. I can keep the show going. So this movie, basically some thieves, some armed robbers. This is the synopsis for you. You know, botched robbery. They end up on the run. They end up at this little like tavern type thing, you know, and everything goes crazy from there because they run into some witches and they're cannibalistic and it's a whole ordeal. We're going to run through the movie a little, shortly, but there are some good parts. And I'm not talking about the obvious thing Kayla thinks I'm talking about, but there's some good fun parts in this, especially when the grandma puts the teeth in.
Okay.
Ooh. The sharp teeth? What?
That was a disgusting, weird, like, when she put those teeth in.
She was so crazy about it. She was like, yeah. And then she just went at this dude's arm.
It was Berlin, Germany. You're welcome.
That's where they filmed it? How much digging did you have to do? It literally says France, Spain when I look it up on IMDb. Where did you go?
I'm on IMDb.
And it says it was filmed in Germany?
Filming location, Berlin, Germany.
Oh, okay.
I think they said it in the movie, though. Otherwise, I wouldn't have just pulled that out of my ass, you know? I feel like that'd be a weird thing to just make up.
Yeah, but they said on here
I'll share you my screen. Filming location,
Yeah, but it
Berlin,
says
Germany.
filming locations, Madrid, Spain. Are you looking at witching and bitching? Can I get close enough to the camera for everyone to see this? Am I crazy? Is my phone gonna adjust?
No, I saw
Probably
you.
not.
What the fuck is
Did you
happening?
look up the right movie? I mean, there's not a lot
Yeah.
of movies called Witching and Bitching out there. Let's see if I can do this while you're looking. Stars: Hugo Silva as Jose, Mario Casas Antonio, Pepon Nieto Calvo, Carolina Bang. That's her name. That's Ava, the blonde witch's actual name. Carolina
What?
Bang. Uh,
No.
I'm looking at it right now. She's very pretty. I'm looking at it right now. There,
You
she
got
plays
so
Ava.
distracted.
You got Terele Paves. I think she plays the mom, her mom in that. There's a pile of random Macarena. I think this girl's name is actually Macarena Gomez. The
One
director
more
is
thing I'm looking
Alex
up.
de la Iglesia. I'm pretty good at this, but no, seriously.
You sound.
The movie starts off. Basically we get the beginning. It's a little tidbit in the beginning. There's a few women. They're like what, hiding in like a tree stump or something. They're in like some hut and they're doing these rituals. And what is she reading? Tarot cards. She's flipping cards over,
I
and
think
that's
it
when
was
she
Spain.
sees the
Where did I get
prophecy.
Berlin from? Where did I get that? I don't know what's
It might have been
happening.
released in Germany, maybe. I don't know. Either way,
I don't know. I think I messed up.
but they
But I
describe
thought they said something about Berlin in the beginning.
they describe a prophecy, right?
At the beginning?
Yeah, she's turning the cards over and she's like, "Oh, it's gonna be this," and the other lady's like, "Oh, that's a taxi," and they're going through everything and like they have a little thing put together, and then
Where they have like a cauldron full
yeah, they're
of
doing some
fucking
traditional witch bitch stuff.
bullshit.
Yes, witch bitch. But
I don't know
I
if you could say that.
can say whatever I want. No, I saw there. There's like a movie, I can't remember the title, called like Monster Fight or something like that, or Monster Battle or Battle something or other, and it pits literally different monsters against each other, and there's little side stories to the movie, and it's just a fun stupid monster movie. But one of the characters really is literally is called Witch Bitch, and she gets in the ring with another vampire or something. I don't know. It's a weird movie. It's fun. Um, Jimmy Hart's in it, but
Interesting.
then what do we cut to a robbery, right? This guy's painted up. He's
No.
all Jesus.
No.
We didn't
Just
cut.
normal.
We didn't
No,
cut
we
to
didn't
like
cut
the
to just
beginnings.
there. Okay, in Spain, you know how people do like they paint themselves and they don't move as statues? There is like an occult of people involved beforehand. So there's like a SpongeBob dude, and then there's like the plastic green toy soldier dude, and then one guy painted in all silver as Jesus, and like there's a Mickey Mouse bunch of a group of bullshit happening, and they're all like in watch. You know what was so weird to me? That at this gold store, there was a gold store with like just rings, just gold rings. There was there other
No,
jewelry.
that was
What
like a
was the
pawn shop. That
fascination?
was like a pawn shop type of thing.
Yeah, but what was the thing with the rings? Why was the rings? I understand later on in the movie, but as somebody who is stealing from a store, why the all the rings
Well,
with everything else?
he saw that when he had gone in before, she pulled out the tub of all the rings and all the gold and random shit people pawned, and basically was like, "Throw it in there, and I'll buy." She was gonna buy it, give him cheap, nothing for money, and just have him throw it in there. And that's when he got the idea, like, "I'm gonna rob that shit. I'm gonna take that tub."
Well, no, they didn't get the idea because it was planned out the whole time, wasn't it? They were all. It was all
Yeah,
like,
but they like
oh, good
flashed
to go.
back to him going in there and remember his little saint thing.
Oh, from when he was, yeah, when he was there the first time because she
That's how he
she
got the
gypped
idea.
him.
I'm gonna rob that bench. She
Yeah.
pulls it right out. I'll just take it. You know.
So the all the people ended up, working together to rob this one place, and millions and millions of dollars worth of gold.
Millions and millions.
Millions with an M, maybe billions, and they
Millions
split it
of
up.
dollars.
Nope. Let's tell you.
What was your mouth? Oh, there.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
The worst part of all of this is the child.
There's a kid involved. He's helping out. He's just involved. He's just hanging out with his dad, who's divorced. does not get along with the ex. But things take a turn for the worse. And they end up on the run from the police. They take a car. It's like a cab, right? They jump into a guy. Yeah, he had a guy in the back seat.
Well, originally not Jose. What was the other guy's name?
I honestly forget. But his girl was supposed to
Troy.
but she didn't know it was a robbery.
Well, no, it was also her car, and the guy was like, "No, it's my car, but my girlfriend's gonna pick it up." But it was her car because he was like a cuck or something. I don't know, but
No,
so
he was just kind of her little bitch.
he
She
was
was
like,
like
"I'm
the
not a
sugar
real
mama.
man
She was the
because
sugar
she owns
mama.
the house." And Chucky,
The dog. He
the
was like, I
dog.
love the dog.
I don't know, some ridiculous name. And she ended up bailing because she's always working, and she was on a work call and just bailed because it took too long, probably. And then so they,
Forgot she
took
had
this little
people with
taxi
her.
guy.
Yeah, so they steal the cab, and there's a whole police chase.
There's
And
some
there's a guy
random
in the
guy
back
in there.
seat. Oh, but
Wake up.
There's a guy in the back seat, right? Right. And he's complaining the whole time. I'm supposed to go here. I'm supposed to go here. And they're cruising, get shot at, the whole nine. This is where we start to see more of the comedic elements come in with how they're talking. Which that's another good part about this movie. There's so many little like one-liners that are just great in this movie. Especially, you got to read the subtitles. You can't look away. But like once you start reading the subtitles, you see these little one-liners popping up. It was good. I was genuinely laughing watching it. But they end up on the run, right? The cab driver joins him. He just says,
Their
"Fuck it, I never did
their
anything."
their goal is to take all of this gold. By the way, so many other people involved that the cops ended up investigating at the same time that they're on the run. And it's so stupid
We didn't
because
even get into the
there's
cops. Yeah,
there's obviously there's cops chasing them. You said there was a chase, so whatever. So then they're in the car. There's the one guy with his girlfriend that's obsessed with the girlfriend who's supposed to pick him up, and then there's the dad and the boy with the random passenger that was already in the taxi,
yeah.
and then the fucking driver. This poor guy. They all end up driving about, and they're like the main characters now. They're just the main characters. All the guys in this taxi.
Well,
Um,
except for the guy that was already in the taxi, they put his ass in the trunk because he doesn't shut up.
Nah, I still think that he was like, I wouldn't say that he was side character, but I wouldn't say he was main character.
He
He was kind
was
of like
he was good though. He was funny.
he wavered. And then as this is all happening, the son's like, "What about my homework, Dad? What mom says I need to do my homework." And he's like, "Son, this isn't the time. Like, we'll do it later. We'll get it done later. It doesn't have to be done now." And the kid was like, "But mom always says that homework comes first." He's like, "Blah blah blah." And the kid starts crying. He's like, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I left my homework back at the gold shop." And he was like, "I'm
Yeah, it's got all this
sorry."
stuff on it. Yeah, it don't even matter in the end anyway. Like as things get on, it's just crazier and crazier and
I
crazier.
thought it was crazy that when they called the mom, because her number was in his notebook that he left behind, that they were like, "Show me all of your show. We need identity. Show me a picture of him." And there was like burnt pages,
Yeah, she hates him that much. She like scratched him out of
like
pictures and burnt him out of pictures.
everything.
She was so bitter. So
She was like,
bitter.
"Eh, nah, nah." Then she ends up taking it in her own hands to chase after them, and then the cops end up following her anyways. So these guys are on the road. Fucking weird shit's happening. They're like, "Yeah, fuck women, and they always fucking do this," and they just shit on
The
women the whole
both
time.
cars, the cops car, two cops are talking shit. Well, the one of them, and then the whole car, all the dudes in the car are like, "Yeah, fuck women. They'll fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna lie to you."
And then, well, the taxi driver at first he was scared because he's like, "These are my three kids, and like this one loves me so much, and this one hates when I leave, and
This one
whatever."
put
And then
my picture next to Justin Bieber.
and then they got broy in the car, and he was like, "You know what?" Took his ring off. He goes, "Fuck women." And then he was like, "We're in this together."
I'm
Like
joining the
2 seconds.
gang. Yeah,
His whole
they're like,
marriage
does
went
that
out the
mean you like
window.
want to cut or?
Yeah, he was like, "My whole marriage out the window. Out the window. Don't even care anymore." In 2 minutes after talking shit about her with the guys, he's like, "I made a mistake because my sister and my mom are really close with her, and they go to the mall and they just talk shit about me." I was like,
Clip that.
"Bye to your marriage? What?"
Yeah, so they end up in this little tavern thing for some soup and to take a break, right?
Even though they weren't going to. But the little boy was like, I'm really hungry
Yeah, he never
because
got
they
his
didn't want to
snack. He didn't get his snack earlier.
get his dinner.
But they end
Too
up at
busy
this little
shooting
tavern,
civilians in the crowd because the kid had guns too when they were leaving. So
which of course is immediately weird with the guy with the wonky eye. Immediately weird. And that guy
I don't.
stayed, that guy played the role the whole movie. He didn't let up a fucking inch. This is why I like this movie. This guy, I don't know who he is. What was his name? Let me see if he's in the credits here for a
You know
second.
what bothered me though?
This guy,
His
his,
role in the end of the movie really bothered me
what do you mean?
because it didn't make sense. So, like, if we skip ahead a little bit, why is he the only male that they're okay with? Is he like a slave to them? But
He
then their
might have
slaves were
been,
down in the.
he might have been related. Because remember, he might have been like the one relative who just said yes all the
So
time.
was. No, but so was the brother. The brother was related, and you saw how he fucking
Yeah,
looked.
but they
So
remember they said he did something bad. He was like, "I did something bad." He said
yeah, he was grounded for fucking decades.
yeah, but
Whatever.
he said it.
Yeah,
I mean, he was like, yeah. But when they were like, "What happened?" He was like, "I
yeah,
did
but
something bad." Like he said it
yeah,
like even he knew it was bad.
yeah, but the guy was giving the mom hints to places. He was doing all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like things that would have been less than what the other people did. Like the daughter was chained up because she said she loved somebody. What?
Enrique Villain. I probably murdered that. Enrique. Let's see if
It's
it
not focusing.
focuses for all you on YouTube that are watching. As I pull back, sometimes it works with me, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just have regular old equipment because you're just us. But that's all right. He played that part so well the whole movie, though. I don't care what. I don't care if it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. It's Googly Eyes now. It's just Googly, okay? Googly
He's like,
was
"Let me get
doing
a
a good job.
cigarette and poke you." She's like, "What?" He's like, "Your kid's nice."
Yeah, and then he grabbed the cigarette from her hand like this on purpose. He knew right away what they were gonna do with that woman. Anyways, ugh.
So we got a little ahead, but that's okay. So they stop. They get some soup. One of the guys has to go to the bathroom, so he goes in there and he's getting ready to squat down because he's got to poop. And then he sees an eyeball looking up the drain, and he's like, "Huh!" And then he bounces. So they all end up bouncing.
Wait, by the way, this guy already didn't want to drive anywhere near this place because he was like, "This is the town with the Z. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I'm not gonna
The
try to
Z
say
town,
it, but it's
Witch
known for
Town,
witches. Yeah.
Witch Town." He was like, "This is where witches were fucking made. They were in a cave and all this crazy shit." He goes, "Fuck this. I'm not driving any further." And he goes, "Dude, don't bail on me now. Don't bail on me now." And then he's the one who brought up the rings. He was like, "What's wrong with my gold?" And then taxi driver's like, "No, nothing's wrong with your gold. There's like there's divorce and cheating and all this stuff.
Yeah, all these
It's a
lost
symbol with the
hopes and stuff.
rings."
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, "Fuck that." He goes, "Well, my son's hungry." And he's like, "Okay." And they just start going. And I'm like, "All right, whatever." Wait, did they hit the lady
They hit her
before
after
they
they
got
left
there?
there.
Okay.
It was after they
Yeah,
left
because
there.
she beat. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. The guy in the tunnel looking up at people shitting.
Yeah, that was the brother.
I know who it was.
Not he wasn't right. That's what I'm saying. That's why when he said I did something bad, I was like, that guy's not right. Plus his flesh, some of the makeup was pretty good. Like how his
You could
arm
tell
was
he was
just
wearing like a
hanging.
suit, but it was still really.
It
He
looked
looked.
gross.
He
It
had to have
looked
lost so much
gross.
weight for that role.
You see him running at the end, he's like, run, and he's like, brr, brr.
Yeah, he's like a skeleton trying to like be pulled on a fucking string. It was
What good?
terrible.
You know, that's my thing. They went all out. I feel like no one in the movie was lazy about their role, and it's like they knew exactly what they were getting into, so they were like, "Fuck it, let's make it fun." I feel like they had fun making this movie. I feel
Yeah,
like
there was no bad acting.
not at
None
all.
of them.
Not at all. Maybe some of the background witches and stuff, but other than that, no.
No, not even because then it was like almost believable because
Yeah,
they were like simping for the queen. I don't know. There was a lot of weird shit in here.
there's a lot to,
Like
folks. There's a lot to process in this movie,
the
as far as what you
caves.
were seeing. It wasn't so much like I want me dead or whatever, you know, where you like analyze the shit out of it. There's no real analysis to this movie. It's just fucking fun, you know? But what happened next? They ended up driving. They hit an old lady in the road. Then they run into another lady who's looking for the other old lady, and then she asks them for a ride and brings them to her house. And
She's
this
like,
is
my mom
where,
is delusional,
yeah,
and I really like. I had just had hip surgery, and I was looking for her. But if I could catch a ride with you guys, I'll show you where my house is. Don't
trick,
care who you are. If I'm in
trick
the car
them.
and someone's like, please, I'm like, you're dead. You
She
you you
goes,
got out here by yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're dead. You got out here by yourself. You could get fucking home by yourself. I don't care who you are, and maybe that's
yeah.
mean, but I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck. No, I'm not being in a horror movie. Nobody's banging my window. Help me! No, no, no. You go over there with the thing. No, 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 no. I'm all set with all of that. You can go bring your fucking scary ass elsewhere. I don't want nothing to do with it. That part, I was like, this is too for
Yeah.
me.
But they end up at the house, right? And then they go in there. So what happens? This kid like runs in ahead of him, right? So they're talking for a little bit, and then they decide they want to leave, but he goes in to get his kid first.
No, 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 no. You missed the important part with the blonde lady. So when they went in, the kid is being a child. He's just wandering. He's like, ooh, castle, blah. Goes and does his own fucking thing, wanders off. And then the two guys, the guy who has a girlfriend, and then the guy who's the dad, walk in and they see the girl, the young witch. After she gets off on her motorcycle, she's all cool. She's got like half of her head shaved. She's all like
She's
mysterious,
hot. She's
whatever.
hot.
She's wearing like leather and everything. Yeah. So she walks in with
She
them.
looks
The boys,
intense.
yeah, she got bold personality, but the guys are fighting over her, shoving each other like fucking teenagers. Like, no, she's
Yeah, how
mine.
you
Fuck
doing? How you?
you.
Hey, hey,
Bleh.
get out of here! I'm cooler. I'm cooler. Like, yeah, they
And
were
then
doing all that shit.
then you start to put the pieces together because you're like, oh, the taxi driver, the gold, the dad, the son. You're like, okay, this is the witch's house. Like at that moment, I was like putting everything together, and then she was like, he's the chosen one. I love him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and his son was the chosen one too.
So then they go downstairs because they're like, oh, let's just wander along looking for them. No, the taxi driver was with the mom that they picked up, and he was behind her. And she's like, let's try to find my mom. Here's the history of this. Here's this, blah, 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 this. She goes, yeah, just in case my great grandmother, we buried her face down just in case she was a witch. So if she claws at the coffin, she claws to hell. And they were like, huh? So he follows her down the stairs,
I missed that part.
and
I must have looked away when she said that. I don't remember that phrase.
yeah, she was like,
That's
yeah,
bad
because it was when she
fucking
was.
ass.
You missed that part. It was so funny because the taxi driver is the one who's like clutching his cross on his thing as he's walking with her, and she can see it. So she's like, "This painting is so and so. This person built the house. Oh, and this was my great grandmother. She's buried face down." He was like, "Huh?" Freaking out. And so she explained to him why, and she was like, do you understand? Like, she got mad at him. She was like, do you understand? Hello, do you comprehend? And he was like, yeah, 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 sure, sure. So they walk downstairs, and the crazy mother is fucking has the kid tied up with an apple in his mouth and all buttered up in the oven. Did you miss this part too?
this
How did you miss
this was
this?
that little section where I put it on and I was cooking and I was trying to watch it, but then I was like, oh damn, and I had to go check the stove, and I was like, oh damn, and then I was like, God, I have to stop this right now. So I stopped it and watched the rest up here.
You should have rewinded it. Did
Uh
she
I
they went
saw right when
downstairs?
they found him though. They were like, he's in the oven, and they were like, we're fucking out of here.
Yeah, so they were like trying to not give away the fact that they're witches yet, because they're like, he's the chosen one. We got to get him back here. So they were like, he'll come back, whatever. She's like, I'm sorry, my mother's crazy. She's on so many meds. You saw the meds. You saw the meds. Blah blah whatever. And they were trying to like blame it on that. And then at this point, it cuts back to where the mom finally gets to the cavern, and somehow the mom of the witches is magically also at the cavern. I was like, all right. So then they talk to her. She's like, do you know anything? And that's when he grabs the cigarette and he's like, I'll give you information. And he writes the name of the town on her fucking windshield. And the
Oh, it's
cops are
not. We're
following
skipping a
her.
good part. There was a good part.
Not yet. It keeps going back and forth.
She went in. It's the squatty potty style. She had to get all set up, and then suddenly this dude's watching.
I wouldn't call this a good part. He wasn't watching. He reached his hand
He
up
did reach his slimy hand. How to get through that hole?
because he's this big around the waist. What do you mean? He's deprived. And he said that his skin looks the way that it does because it's moist down there. It's soggy. So he's like, my skin it's too wet, so it falls off when he shook the guy's hand. He goes, so if it falls off, I'm trying to be respectful. He was like, It's okay.
Oh, like when you stand,
Dear,
like that
dear.
can happen if you're in water for too long. Anyways, yeah, it
They
was
did
kind
such a
of
good job with this
gross.
movie.
It was kind of gross. They did a good job. So we see
She pulls
that
her panties right back up because he knocks at the perfect
they
time.
were good panties.
Thank
But
God.
anyways, let's see. I love seeing your face.
You're an idiot. Do you remember what happens next?
The two cops are there following her.
Mm-hmm.
So she leaves. Cops are following her. Cause she talked to them at the counter though too. She talked to them for a few. The other lady,
Who?
remember the lady tried to tell her
She's
not to go
trying
in
to
the.
get information, and
Well,
she's
remember
like,
though
"No,
that
no,
lady,
husband."
the lady in the back tried to tell her not to go, and she's like, "Where's the bathroom?" She's like,
Oh yeah, she was like the bathroom all the way down. The one on the right. The one on, like she's doing her son a favor. The one on the right. Yeah, go to that one. And the lady in the back was holding a pig's head, and she's like,
yeah.
"Don't do that one. Don't." Mm-mm,
Of course, she didn't
mm-mm.
listen. I always listen to the person in the back. Like, I always listen to that person.
Yeah. I would have peed outside.
I would have peed on his eyeball.
I would have. No, you wouldn't have.
His eyes look crazy by the end of the movie.
It's a little much, but anyways. So then the mom goes into town looking for her son. By the way, they passed him while he was
Yeah, she
wandering in the
drove by
woods.
him. He was on the side of the road because she was getting her charger out for her fucking phone. Then
And
the
then the
two
other guys thought he
cops,
was a pig,
they thought he was a piglet.
a piglet.
And of
They were
course,
like
he
a
comes out,
hairless.
and there's the pickup truck with old wonky guy and the witch.
He was like, haha, playtime, let's go. Fucking backwards dives
He
into
was
the truck.
such a
I'm like,
psycho. His legs are just kicking as they drive away.
he's like, hee, having a jolly good time with the child. The chosen one.
Please, just watch this movie. Just
It's
watch this
so
movie.
good.
Just
I
smoke,
will. I think this movie's so good.
smoke a little Wheaties, drink a little
Don't do that.
weenies, drink a little whinies. You know,
Drink
you
weenies.
drink wieners.
You just swallowing hot dogs for fun?
Hey! But you know what I mean.
No.
Just mindless entertainment. It's great. It's great. And everyone tried.
Yeah,
Everyone
they
tried
did.
on this movie.
Even if it was cringy, they still made it work. It wasn't that bad.
Everybody.
But then the cops see that the mom is pulled over. She's trying to get like a signal, and they're like, "Oh, she stopped." And then she's like, "Hey, are you guys armed?" And the guy's like, "You're not supposed to ask an officer that." And she goes, "They have my fucking kid.
Yeah, like
Do
two cars
something."
up, they're taking him out of the back, and he's kicking and screaming. The cops are like, "Oh, oh,
Oh no.
idiots!" But yeah, they're
Mm.
basically organizing a banquet. They're gonna eat these guys. This poor guy got his tooth ripped out. He wasn't even the right kind of person.
Well, wait. They were tied up, so they caught them on the property because they had to go back for the golds. So the guy like got in the car. They were just at
Oh,
the
wait a
border.
minute. So yeah, so it skipped to them having to go back because of the gold.
Yeah, so they were just at the border. They got rid of the guy in the back seat that they fucking hijacked when they had the taxi. They
put
got
him,
rid of the
yeah.
guns. They got rid of everything. So they had no weapons, right? They got rid of those to go to the border. And they were like, all right, solid. We're good. We got the kid. We got the fucking bullshit, whatever. The kid's itching because he's like half cooked. Ugh.
Poor guy.
So then they were like, wait. They were like, what? He's like, where's my bag? He goes, what do you mean? He was so distracted by fucking Goldilocks and then also grabbing his kid from the oven and everything. He left the bag. So the younger kid who was like infatuated with women, he was the only one who's like, I don't know why you guys are shitting on women. I love women. He's like, but what if I'm not good enough for them? The younger kid and then the dad go back in. They leave the taxi driver and the son in the taxi. So as they're going in, that's when the teeth scene happens. You almost skipped the teeth scene.
No, not yet, because we almost skipped my favorite scene was when they walk by the first room. He opens the door and it's young blonde witch, and she's like
I was gonna skip
drinking
right
blood.
over that.
She's
Drinking frog.
Yeah, this
frog
is a good.
juice.
This is a crazy part because this is what makes this movie stand out. And it's not because of the obvious. It's because of like just the fact of like the whole witch side of things, just like being extra and being sexual and like drinking the blood and doing all the extra. Like she's literally like squeezing blood out of frogs into her mouth. It's dripping all over her. She's in like her bra and underwear. She's gyrating on a broomstick and just getting into it.
Yeah, she's
But
humping
not
a
like
broomstick.
putting it in her. Yeah, she's like riding it like she would be if she was a witch riding in the air, except she's doing it fun.
Except she's just like Mr. Krabs with the money.
She's
you know?
on it. She's
She's
on
like,
it. She's trying to level it down here. But the younger dude's looking through the door and he's like, "Oh yeah, nothing in here. It's dangerous though. I'll watch out." And the other guy's like, "What's in there?" He's like, "Nothing to look at." Basically, he's like, "I'll just keep an eye on this. You're good. You go ahead." And then he's like, finally looks in, and they're like, "Oh!" And then that's when they start getting stupid. They're like, "Yeah, right, yeah, I'll go in there. No, you go in there." Like, "No, I'm going in there." And they start getting stupid. But then they realize they gotta leave. They gotta leave. Of course, she's
They're like,
clearly looking at them in the mirror. She knows they're there.
oh yeah, she likes the attention, but she only wants it from the dad, not the younger kid.
Yeah.
She's like obsessed with
This
him.
guy reminded me of Charlie Day the whole time. The whole movie, I kept thinking Charlie Day. But anyways, blasting ahead,
Well, no,
blasting
this was
ahead.
happening at. Oh no, no, it wasn't happening at the same time. Where the fuck did the kid? The kid ended up with the mom because they were like, "Oh, we don't do things like this to little boys." So after this all happens, the guys get chased around wherever. They end up getting
Well, the
tied up,
teeth
and now
scene
they're at
happened.
dinner.
Remember the teeth
Yeah, the
scene?
teeth scene
Yeah,
happens. They
because they try to
fucking
sneak in and get the rings, and he makes noise, and the grandma puts in these sharp teeth and shreds into one of dude's arm. The other lady's like running up the wall and the ceiling. That's when they really get revealed in the craziness they are. That was the
honestly,
bit.
that part could have been worse. It wasn't bad. I
I would
thought
have.
it could have been worse.
Yeah, yeah. That's the funny thing is like the witches were like they had extra powers, but they weren't like super super. So like these guys are kicking them out of the way and shit.
Yeah, and then they're at dinner. Well, no, no, they're not. The taxi driver and the kid were in the car while this was happening because they were waiting for them to come back out. So then the blonde bitch, after she's done jerking herself off with the fucking broomstick, jumps on top of the taxi, fucking throws the man in the trunk out the field somewhere, grabs the
Yo,
taxi
she
driver, throws
threw
him.
that dude. He's like, "Are you going to help me? Hello." And she's like, whoosh, she just throws him. He got pummeled. That guy got abused the whole time. He got his
Yeah.
he got
And
his
like, wait,
tooth ripped out. He got his
we missed
fingers
that
cut
part.
off.
Because that's when the kid ran out in front of the truck. So that happened when the truck shit happened.
No,
Was
this
this
is when
all
they're
like
all at the table.
flashbacks?
This is no, because the next part they're all at the table. They're all tied up. The witches are getting their party together.
Sorry, guys. It's a 2 hour long movie. Getting
Yeah, no,
all of the
we're
details
pretty
on
in
this one
line.
is hard.
Listen, I watched it today. I'm pretty good with it, but we're pretty in line. So this is where they're at the table and they're getting their party together. They're calling all the witches in, and the young one, the hot ones, are walking around just being a maniac in general.
Ripping
She
ears off,
proceeds.
pulling teeth.
She pulls this guy's tooth out. Oh, disrespectful. Sorry, guys. She
Tries to
pulls this
choke the
guy's.
shit out of him.
She pulls this guy's tooth out. The poor guy that's been in the trunk, and then she's told we don't need his tooth. He's the wrong kind of person.
He's not a priest.
Then she's getting all the appetizers ready and she pulls out chicken fingers or, what did she say? It was fried fingers or something like that. And there
Fried
are a bunch of
fingers.
fingers. And then the poor guy that just had his tooth ripped out looks down, he pulls his hands up. He has no fingers because he's like
No
doped up.
fingers. It's so bad. But
It goes, there's so much more. There's so much more. We're condensing it, of course. But
yeah, it's a long movie.
basically, the cops and the mom are sneaking in, by the way, at the same time. They're sneaking in. They're in the ceiling. The full party's
Through
getting
the
into full
basement.
swing. Witches are showing up left and right. They're loading up the house, getting ready. There's craziness going on. There's good banter going on. The blonde young witch is all over Charlie Day's look-alike. They're doing their thing. And then the whole witch dinner kicks off, and they're talking about the prophet. What are they talking about? The ritual they're going to do. They're going to bring back the ancient one and blah, 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 blah. And
as this is happening, they're climbing up all these stairs through the attic, and then they find like a little peephole, and they're looking down at the table. Like the mom and the
yeah,
two
and they're
cops are
seeing
looking
this
down at the
craziness.
table,
But
and they're like, "What the fuck?"
of course, they fall through the ceiling.
Why wouldn't they fall through the ceiling? The old ass house, the ancient castle house that they're in, they fall through the ceiling. The craziest thing to me, like all of the guys, they're all punching each other, running away, blah, 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 whatever. But in the middle of them, like running away from the witches, all the guys, because after they fall through the ceiling, the chairs break, the fucking ropes fall off, they're tied to these chairs, they're escaping. They run in different directions. But the mom gets turned into a witch. All of the witches are like holding her down, fucking squeezing frog guts in her mouth and shit, like the black that they all have around their mouth all the time. And
Yeah.
they're like, don't worry, honey, we're gonna treat you like a queen now. You're one of us. And I was like, they
That's when
tried to
the
feed her an
psychotic,
ear.
the wonky-eyed guy gets crazy. He just cuts an ear off, and he's like, and then he brings it over and like gives it to them to eat, and it just it's like it's crazy and unhinged at times, but it's still not too much. You know
Yeah,
what I
and they're
mean?
making the two cops like pork belly. They're shoving shit in their mouth and
Yeah.
seasoning them.
But
And
it's like I can't explain that enough. If this was like a Texas Chainsaw movie, cutting the ear off, that craziness, it would probably be like, oh fuck. But like this movie somehow does it. The gore's there, but it somehow doesn't make you uneasy. It kind
yeah,
of
it's
is
just
like
funny.
it's
It's like, huh?
funny, but it's very like it's realistic though. You know, like the way they did it. It wasn't like cheesy gore. Like they spent they had a good effects department until it came to CGI.
You know what bothered me though? While the guys are running away, they end up in like the chamber underneath where the mom was talking about how like, oh yeah, like we have tunnels in this castle. It's really cool. Some of them go to France, and that was like intriguing to the guy at first before he knew they were witches. And she was like, yeah, we have like the tunnels that go to France. You know, when slaves were cool, sometimes we'd keep those down there with the old guy on this painting. And then when the guys are down there, there was a picture of the ancient one. She just looks like a lump of mess. But the
Yeah.
thing that bothered me, the date on it, I think it read 1610. I pulled it up beforehand so that when I did bring this up, it didn't bother me. The first accusation of someone being a witch, which was Sarah Good, was 1692. But the ancient one was had the date 1610 on it.
And that might not even been like a born on date right there. That was just the date for that picture, right? That painting.
No, they were downstairs in the chamber where the slaves were, and it had like I don't know if it was I don't want to assume that it was like pagan writing. Like it just wasn't it did not look like a foreign language. It just looked like ancient script. And then next to it said 1610 with the one drawn. Like caveman drawings literally on the side of the
Yeah, but that
fucking.
like means that the ancient one's been around for that for much longer because they were already talking about her in the 1600s and all that.
Yeah,
That's what I
it's
was going at.
I was just at first I was like, that's not right because I was thinking of like first accusation of a witch, but then I was like, wait a minute, they actually like if the first accusation of a witch was 1692 and then the ancient one was 1610, I was just surprised they got the dates like okay, ancient one, first accusation of witch. It was neat the attention to detail they had.
I liked their take on the witch thing. I liked it. It was fun. But we're at a point now where just craziness is happening. They're literally just running from witches, running from witches, running from witches. The whole next like 20 minutes is them running from witches, throwing witches, punching
Through the
witches.
tunnels, yeah.
Yeah, just going nuts. And that's when Blondie,
Still carrying the gold.
yes, they're
Still
not giving it
holding
up,
on
which
to
is
the
good.
gold.
But of course, the young one, the daughter, the blonde one, she likes this guy, so she ends up pulling him aside, trying to help him escape, and she's being extra fucking crazy. They're like really going all out on the girls are crazy thing at this point. He talks his way through it. Talks his way through it, ends up getting away, and this is where he finds her brother down below, and he's the one that everyone pees and poops on.
Yeah,
And
it's a
they're
little
now they
strange. He goes,
because
I've
they're
read
under the tavern at this
16,000
point.
books. And I was like, huh? 16,000? How long have you been grounded, dude? What
He
did
said
you
what,
do?
15 years?
I don't know the years. Maybe I missed that
I
part.
think he said 15 years.
16,000 books. You got to be down there more than 15 years to rot like that.
No, well, to have his skin drooping from fucking moisture, no.
Yeah, but the fatigue, his neck, and his.
Yeah, I don't know. They were like keeping him alive supernaturally or something. He was a fucking mess. I thought he was gonna be all weird like a leper. I thought he was gonna have like leprosy and get all weird on
I thought he
this
was going to
guy.
be like the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Turns out he's a good dude. He's just a good dude they threw down there. They
The
didn't
guy
say
was like,
why
hey,
though.
man, I got your Graham's keys. Let's unlock you. And then he ends up helping the dad out of the fucking tunnel, which was cool. But then as they're getting out, they hit a coffin and they hear scratching. She was face down. So yeah, I know you didn't pick up on the first part when they said that, but she was face down.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, okay, freed the sister, left her there in the
Yeah, he
chains.
leaves her. He's like, I don't have time for a crazy bitch right now.
He's like, why can't women just be normal? Why do I always have to get the crazy ones? And I was like,
But let's jump ahead. We have all the witches gathered in this tunnel cavern thing. We got the two cops tied up. We got the his buddy there in crime tied up.
And the
and
taxi driver,
the taxi driver's tied up, and they're basically hovering above a fire waiting to get burned up. All the witches are there. They're doing a ritual. These guys are
they're
having
slow cooking them,
fantastic banter, by the way. One cop confesses to another cop his love for him,
which makes
and
sense why the cops were talking shit about women because they're gay.
yeah, it turns out they're gay, which is fine. But they also, it's just good banter all around, going around. And Ancient One finally shows up. And this is where things go. I don't
The
want to say
mother who
I don't want
was
to say
turned into
off the rails because that would mean that it was just terrible. But unfortunately
like a riot.
for the CGI is what I'm talking about when she shows up. First of all, I did not expect huge tits and like a big fat naked like ancient
That's what the
witch.
ancient scripts looked like.
I didn't realize it. Well, I didn't think about it when I saw it at the time, and then she came out. I was like, "Holy shit!" Wicker basket covering the eyes, and I'm talking pendulous breasts, just flinging around. She's naked. You see there's shots of the front, the back, um,
The
but
moss growing out of places that
yeah, she basically comes in, and her job is like if she eats the child and doesn't die or whatever or gets sick,
no, if she eats the child and he gets
passes through.
digested, no, if he gets digested, like if she can eat him and he dies, then he's not the chosen one. But if she eats him and he passes through like a rebirth, like
Yeah,
the kid did, then he's the chosen one. So the witches had
yeah.
the inkling right at the beginning while they're fucking stirring the cauldron.
So
So
he gets rebirthed, and this was a fantastic scene.
wait. The mother, who is now not well because she's a
Yeah,
witch,
she got
is like, this is my
basically brought into the
offering
cult there, the witch cult.
unwillingly. It just she was
You know what?
unconscious
But that was
drinking
her
fucking
calling.
frog
That
guts.
was her calling the whole time.
She kind of, I mean, not. I feel bad. She was just a concerned mother
Yeah.
for being mad for all of the right reasons.
She was very much mad for the. You know what? I feel like they did that on purpose too for the movie. You know what? There is some hidden meaning in this movie
Yeah.
because even at the end, she's still mad, and you could see why. Like she has never kid with her now. There's a new mom in the picture. Like,
Yeah, the dad was just a piece of shit and won in the end, but you know it was fun. I liked the dad even though he was a piece of shit.
but they
So
basically, yeah. So she passes the child. And basically he's rebirthed, and then all hell breaks loose again
because
because
the ancient one is being attacked by blonde witch,
yeah. Well, well,
ripped the
yeah.
wicker hat off.
It just went crazy. It went crazy town. It went crazy town. But they end up taking care of the ancient one. She's out of there. Blonde, the young, the granddaughter Eve ends up fighting grandma, or her. Yeah, it was her grandma because she doesn't want her to be
Her
the.
mom.
Was it her mom?
Yeah, because the ancient one stomped on grandma.
Oh yeah, that was also crazy. She stepped on one witch, lifted her foot. You could still see her like hanging off the foot, and then she's like, "Goosh."
Yeah, the
She
ancient one
sat
had
on
no
another one.
regard for anybody else. Didn't care.
She didn't give
Didn't
a
give a
fuck.
shit. They look scared of the ancient one.
I would be too.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Ugh. But so as they're fighting, um she's well before they start fighting, the dad is starting to like her and trust her, the blonde witch, and he's like don't fucking touch her, blah blah, because she got thrown to the wall after the ancient one hit her, and then the mom comes in before she was killed, and she was like, oh yeah, you love her, she loves you, has she told you about how she's gonna rip your kid's heart out and blah blah blah, and she's holding the child, and the child vomits green goo
Yeah, like
and then
the
like
Exorcist.
bats it at his dad or something. And he was like, what did you do to him? And then he was like, fuck it, whatever. We'll just take the kid and leave. So then Eva fights the mom and then wins because she like snaps the staff in half. And that was like her lifeline. She's dead at this point. And then
She like defeated her. She didn't like kill her. She defeated her.
she had a nosebleed and I thought she was dead in that moment. I thought she was dead, dead.
I thought so maybe too, but then you
But
see.
they run away, and then as the cops are running with each other, as they're all trying to run away because they're all trying to run from this herd of witches now that the mom's dead, everyone goes fucking AWOL when she dies. So
Yeah,
the
some
taxi
lady in the
guy,
city miles away starts freaking out because of the screaming the witches do.
oh yeah, she was like one of those people chanting about how witches are going to take over the world at the beginning of the movie. We missed that
Which
part, but
I remembered her from the beginning because when they called back to her, and I was like, oh, that lady.
They had so many it wasn't confusing though. They had a bunch of
They did a
like
good job.
flashbacks and they had a bunch of like, oh, plot twist. This is
I
crazy.
feel like
Never
these
would
people
have.
did a good job. I'm
They
not
did a
gonna
really
say
good
the
job. I
movies are.
never thought Eva was gonna like plot twist at the end, and I don't know. There was a lot of shit, a lot of weird
Well,
stuff.
basically, Eva ends up with the dude she wanted. I believe it's Jose. You know,
The
which
son.
the son's doing some crazy graphic magic tricks. We're not gonna give the whole ending away, but it's just it's a happy ending, and the witches hate
Wait, why
happy
aren't we giving
endings.
the ending away? It was 2013. No spoilers here. You're fucking late. It's how many years
Well,
later?
then basically, it's
10 years later.
everything's cool. They're all hanging out. They're all rich too because of all the rings and all the money, the stuff they must have got from the witches.
So the
You
two
know,
cops are dating now.
they're a couple.
The the brother that was weird and got peed on and apparently hangs out with them. They're all like
He just hangs.
friends.
He's like, I want to go to Disneyland. They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
and they're
we're
like, okay, let's get a plane
millionaires.
ticket for that. He's like, oh, we can't just go there. Like plane ticket. Yeah. And then Eva and the dad are married or together somewhat
And
now.
she grew her
And then
hair out.
the son was the chosen one, so he has powers. He actually cut that girl in half, by the way.
Yeah, I got that drift from it. The way she walked away.
Yeah, no, he cut her in half. And then like she was fine because she threw up the green goo afterwards. So he must have like the power of rebirth or something after he got rebirthed. I don't know. There was a lot
It
there that
was
was like,
weird. That was like the one thing you had to kind of read into. But yeah,
yeah, that's what I got from it. Rebirth. He has powers now. I don't know. But then at the ending, the original mom, the kid's biological mother, the Eva's mom, and then Eva's grandmother are all sitting in all black at this play. Like it's obviously a talent show or something that they're all like 3 months later, talent show. I was like, what the fuck? They're all just talking shit back there. They're like, once they're rich and they have this and this, they're gonna come back. And they started laughing all creepy. And I'm like, is there a sequel? Is there another one
they'll
that
get
we
so
don't know
happy. They're
about?
said basically they're saying they'll be too happy and they'll hate it.
Weird, but yeah.
I did. I enjoyed it though. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Um, Definitely not a bad movie for going bad movie. It's not a bad
I,
movie.
I liked this one a lot. It was just fun. I didn't have to read into anything for hours.
two 2 hours of mindless entertainment, witching
Traumatizing.
and bitching. It's
And boobs
there
and
was
broomsticks.
that was my favorite part, but the CGI boobs that were swinging around, not meant to be attractive. It's just funny. They were just.
CGI wasn't bad either. I was expecting it to be
It could have
worse.
been worse, but it was still 2013, so it wasn't the best. And obviously, this isn't like I don't think this was like a huge budget movie or anything over there. If I don't think it
They did a
was.
wicked good job. Grandma looked fucked up though, always.
Yeah,
Her eyes, man. I was like, I thought my eye bags were bad. They're bad,
eye
but
bags.
she
Oh my
had
god,
like
this has been another installment of Bad Movie
rating.
episodes. What's your rating out of 5?
Me?
Yeah,
I guess
one
it a 4.2.
that high, huh?
Yeah, I liked this one. It was weird, but it was fun, but it was also like, ugh, sometimes, and it was a little confusing. And I like movies that confuse me. It's something I'd have to watch again to see if I missed something because there was a
Right.
lot of good detail.
Well, of course, you're reading a lot of
Everything made
you're reading
sense.
you know, subtitles too, so it kind of takes you away from some of the
That,
visual parts also.
yeah, exactly. And I'm
We
not
could get
good
a
with that.
dubbed. Maybe there's a dubbed version somewhere.
Hopefully, but I feel like that takes away
That
because
does.
I like the expressions and it's like
Yeah.
with their native
Yeah,
language. I
it's
don't know.
hard to
I
do.
liked it a lot, but it was hard to keep track of things that I'd normally be paying more attention to, but I had to read the subs the whole time.
I I would probably give it a 4 for me personally, at least a 4. I don't know if I'd go into the decimal side of things, but I like try to gauge it on what I would consider like a 5 in this realm of movies. I mean, if we break it down to specifics, if you want to get the
I don't know anything to compare it to.
comedy horror, like it's basically comedy horror. Like you ever see
I
Tucker?
know, but I'm not into that like you are, so I can't
You know
compare
what
it
we
to
should
anything. So
watch?
just based off of the movie itself, Without any comparisons, I give it a 4.2.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We'll have to watch that.
No, because you've already seen it.
No, I mean I don't mean for the show. I like on a lunch break.
Oh,
You would
great.
enjoy that. You would enjoy that because basically it's. I'm not gonna tell you about the movie, but it's horror comedy done right. Like it's done so fucking right. Kind of like how Shaun of the Dead was done very right for when it comes to that stuff. You know, it's like
I
in
don't
that
know
realm of
Shaun of the
movies.
Dead.
It's in that realm of like comedy horror that's like good horror, but it's still
I
good
never,
comedy. And
never got into comedy horror.
yeah, but you know what? Those two I just mentioned, I guarantee you'll enjoy.
I bet I will. I never got into it. I believe you. They're probably good, but
I like it.
I didn't
like it.
dive into that genre.
Any suggestions? Distractingusdisorderly@gmail.com. What movie should we do next? Don't make us pick again. We're gonna keep picking. We're just gonna keep picking movies.
Email us, guys. What the
Should pick movies
fuck?
with us. We're still streaming Thursday nights. We're still having fun with that.
Why are you breathing so heavy?
I'm trying to think. What else? We're still streaming. I got some new music in the works. Got a couple of shows coming up. I'm gonna announce soon on here. Anything from you?
No, just our socials again. Reach out to us. We're not scary. Say hello.
At
I don't care
CKRiffs.
in what language.
At
Say hello
Novitle. Say hello to
on
Novitle.
everything.
She's gonna go live on TikTok again and blow the shit up.
Yeah, it went a little crazy the first time. I was like, this is just supposed to be a test stream, and now I'm sweating.
You're like, fuck, it likes.
No, oh my god. It was scary. I'll
But
get used to it.
good. We're trying to keep it popping. But yeah, hit us up.
Good luck.
Good night to the folks out
Finish
there.
him.